Hi, my name is Sarah Martin, and this is my audience. And this is my camera lady, Maggie. Okay, so a hot summer's day is not the same without it. Kids and adults alike come running to the sound of the ice cream truck. It's something I've always loved, but have always wondered, where did it originate? How did it progress through history, and what is the different things that have changed it throughout time? So here's the scoop. They might have had brief origins in even the 2nd century BC with Alexander the Great or Nero Claudius Caesar, who flavored ice cream with fruits and juices. But its first notice in the New World wasn't until 1774 in a letter by a dinner guest of Governor William Bladen, and its first ad was seen in 1774 in the New York Gazette. Even presidents have enjoyed ice cream, like George Washington, who paid $200 for ice cream in the summer of 1790. But ice cream was made using the pot freezer method, which was handmade in a pot that was in a tub of ice and salt. But until the 1800s, it wasn't for commoners. It was a rare and exotic dessert for only the elite, until technological strides were made. We have Nancy Johnson, a Philadelphia housewife, to thank for the first hand crank, which allowed the smoother and faster production of ice cream for commoners like us. Jacob Fussell in 1851 was a dairy farmer who produced milk and sold it to those in Baltimore. He had excess milk and cream and decided that he would make ice cream, and therefore created the first commercial ice cream plant. This established mass production and allowed ice cream to be much more affordable. In 1904, the Louisiana Purchase, we saw another technological advance, the waffle cone, which is one of my favorite ways to eat it. In the 20th century, refrigeration and power allowed for the distribution of ice cream and for Americans to have ice cream in their homes, much like this one. From then on, it became not necessarily about how to distribute ice cream, but how to please the masses. We saw an age of new variations in ice cream, new flavors, and different ways to eat it. For example, in 1920, the first Good Humor bar was created by Harry Burt. And we have William Dreyer and Joseph Eddy to thank for one of our favorite flavors, Rocky Road. Fun fact, marshmallows weren't created in small little portions like they are today, and so their wives had to hand cut marshmallows to put into their ice cream, and that's dedication. Ice cream during World War II was huge, and according to the Kinesio article, the armed forces were the biggest manufacturer of ice cream, and we celebrated the end of the war by nothing less than 2 scoops of ice cream. In 1950, for a while, we saw a period of lower cost and increased variety, but that also came with a price. We saw substitution for less expensive materials and ingredients, and so for a little bit, ice cream was lower quality. But thankfully, Haagen-Dazs came along, which was created by Reuben Mattis and started the movement of super gourmet premium ice cream. Instead of using 10% cream, he used 12%, and even though it was 3 times the original price of ice cream, it was a huge hit. Lastly, Ben & Jerry's created their first scoop shop in Vermont in 1978, and we have them to thank for American-loved flavors like Cherry Garcia. From then on, we've seen more competition in ice cream, new flavors, and the industry has only grown from there. Today, the average person eats 48 pints of ice cream a year in America, which is pretty crazy to think about. It's strange to think how ice cream has gone and developed from so long ago until it is today. It's come from a letter by a dinner guest in 1774 to World War II, and now it's nearly has an entire aisle dedicated to it at the grocery store. I think ice cream connects us all, and that's something that's pretty sweet.